Hello students, welcome to data processing class for SS1. I am Mr. Chukwuma Chibuike. The topic we are going to consider today is Spreadsheet. And by the end of this lesson, you are expected to be able to define spreadsheet and give examples of spreadsheet packages. You're also expected to be able to list the steps towards starting Microsoft Excel in your computer. You're also expected to identify parts of Microsoft Excel window, such as the title bar, the menu bar, the quick access toolbar, the workbook, the column headings, row headings, name box, formula bar, the worksheet, cells, the navigation buttons. Then differentiate between a workbook and a worksheet. Mention at least 4 uses of spreadsheet packages. Let's now look at the definitions that you can get here. First, spreadsheet. When we talk about spreadsheet, here we are considering electronic spreadsheets. You know, we have the manual paper ledger that you can also consider to be spreadsheet manually, but here we are looking at the electronic spreadsheet. So a spreadsheet is a file made of rows and columns that help someone to sort data, arrange data easily, and calculate numerical data. I repeat, spreadsheet is a file that is made of rows and columns that helps one to sort data, arrange data easily, and calculate numerical data. Now, when you talk about spreadsheet package, is a computer program that allows data to be arranged in a grid of horizontal rows and vertical columns. And these rows are identified using numbers 1, 2, 3, etc. Then, while the columns are labeled with letters. So when you open the spreadsheet program, you discover that you have lines running from top to bottom. You have lines running from left to right. Then on the vertical columns, you have the letters there, A, B, C, D. And when you get to Z, it will start again, AA, AB, AC, like that. Then the columns lying horizontally is identified using numbers. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. Then the columns and the rows, when they intersect in a place, they will form what is called cell. Okay? Now let's look at examples of spreadsheet packages. You have Microsoft Excel. Most times our students think that Microsoft Excel is the only spreadsheet package because the Microsoft programs dominate the network, market, software market. It's not only Microsoft Excel, but our study here is going to be centered on Microsoft Excel. You also have iWork numbers, that is for Apple suite, you have Lotus 123, even though it's phased out. You have Lotus Symphony, you have Open Office Calc, and others. Okay? In order to work with Microsoft Excel in your computer, while your computer is already switched on your desktop, I don't want to start talking about how to boot your computer because we've done that, so you already know it. On your desktop, you click on the Start button. From the Start button, you select Programs. From Programs, you click on Microsoft Office. When you click on Microsoft Office Suite, from the list of programs there, you now click on Microsoft Office Excel, and a new Excel window opens. Now, when the Excel window is open, there is a first bar that you see on the top. On that bar, you see the title or the name of that application you are working with. You also see the name of the file that you have opened. So when you open Microsoft Excel window, you see Book 1, Microsoft Excel. Book 1 there is the name of the file, while Microsoft Excel is the name of the application you are working with. If your computer is on, I know you can see that. Book 1, name of the file. Because each time you open Microsoft window, the book automatically opens. Now, Book 1, Microsoft Excel. That is what you see on the title bar. Now, the next bar after the title bar is the menu bar. The menu bar will display a list of menus available for use in Excel. Now, if you are using 2003 Windows, you see that you have two bars. But if you are using 2007, 2010, you see ribbon there. Whether you have ribbon in your own or you have two bar in your own, the icons you get there are still used for the same thing. So, but in 2010, in the ribbon there, you see certain options for fonts, for certain pages, and all that. You see the quick access toolbar where the icons that you use currently are listed. Now, on the top left corner of that window, there is a place that is called name box. The name box, the moment you open Microsoft Excel window, the first cell there, which is cell A1, because the cells are identified using the column alphabet and the row number. A1. So that name will be displayed on the name box. If you move the cursor or the pointer to another cell, the name on the name box will change to the name that is on the active cell. So name box displays the name of the active cell or the current cell. Cell is another thing you see. A cell is an intersection of a column and a row. And I told you that when you open Microsoft Excel window, you discover that the first cell there will be highlighted with a heavy border around the cell. And that is called the cell pointer. The cell pointer. Now, after the cell, you also see formula bar. There is a bar where you enter formulas or entries that you make in a spreadsheet. So formula bar displays data entered or being entered in the active cell. The contents of a cell can also be edited or modified in the formula bar. Let me give you an example. Assuming you have worked with your Microsoft Excel, a particular worksheet, and for any reason you want to change the content of a particular cell, all you need to do is to click on that cell. The moment you click on the cell to make it the active cell, the content of that cell will be displayed on the formula bar. Then you take your pointer to the formula bar, click there, and make your changes there, and press your enter key. It will reflect on the cell. You understand? Okay. Now, after the formula bar, you have the column headings. As I've said before, in the column headings, each of the columns is identified by a letter. The first column is A, the second column is B, third is C, like that. Then after the column headings, you have the row headings. Each row is named by a number, 1, 2, 3. Then after that, you have the navigation buttons and the sheet tabs. These ones, you can find them at the bottom left corner of the window. These navigation buttons allow one to move to another worksheet in Excel Workbook. Now, let me bring to your notice that when you open Microsoft Excel window, you have 3 sheets there in a book. That's the default number of books you have in a book. Is you have 3 sheets: sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. Though you can choose to add more sheets, but the default number of sheets in a workbook you get is 3. So in order to navigate from one sheet 1 to sheet 2, you make use of the navigation buttons. Now, the sheet tabs separate a workbook into separate worksheets. So the sheet tabs are also used just the way the navigation buttons are used. The moment you click on the sheet tab for sheet 1, it will take you to sheet 1. You click the sheet tab for sheet 3, it will take you to sheet 3. So that is for sheet tabs and navigation buttons. Then the view button. These are the group of 3 buttons located on the left side of the zoom control near the bottom screen. What are the uses of this? They let you see or switch among Excel sheet views. Down at the bottom of the screen, right side, there are certain views that Excel can allow you to look at the data. You have one, the normal layout view. This view displays the page in the normal view. Another one is the page layout view. The page layout view displays pages exactly the way they will appear when they are printed. It will just give you a full view of the screen. Then the page break view shows a preview of where pages will break when printed. That's when you are printing the pages, it will show you where page 1 will stop, where page 2 will start, and where it will stop, and other pages like that. Then, like I said before, you have your ribbon that contains commands that are organized in 3 components, where you have the tools for editing, the tools for formatting, another. Then you have the status bar. The status bar shows you the status of the worksheet. When the worksheet is ready, when an entry is being made in the worksheet, when a worksheet or the pointer points to a particular cell. You have the groups. The groups are organized related commands. Each group name appears below the group on the ribbon. For example, group of commands relate to fonts, or group of commands relate to alignment. So when you click on the group that is related to fonts, that is font, F-O-N-T. That's the letters. It will now show you the font size that are available for you to choose. Then when you click on alignment, the group that is for alignment, it will also show you how different alignments that you can apply to your document. Then another one is the commands. Commands appear within each group as I've mentioned in the first one. Each of the groups have commands that are attached to them. Then the zoom control lets you see or lets you zoom it for a closer look when you want your document to be bigger or smaller. When you increase the zoom, it will be bigger. When you reduce it, it will be smaller. Then let's look at the difference or differences between worksheet and workbook. Now let me tell you that sometimes the exam bodies, sometimes they like asking this question. What is the difference between workbook and worksheet? Remember I told you that the file that you are working with, the moment you open Microsoft Excel window, you have opened a book. Inside that book, that sheet that you are working with is inside the book. So the file that is created automatically when you open Microsoft Excel is the book. Okay? Then the worksheet is an electronic sheet that is made of grid of cells, that is columns and rows where entries are made. That particular sheet that you are looking at is the worksheet. So the workbook has sheets, whereas the worksheet is made of cells, or you say columns and rows. Then let's look at some of the uses of spreadsheets. The spreadsheet can be used in so many ways. In schools, it can be used for analyzing results. In shops, it can be used for taking inventories. So as we have here, spreadsheet can be used to manipulate numerical data and text. For example, if I want to work on your results, I can enter your names and your scores in a worksheet. From there, I will determine your total scores, I will determine your average, I will determine everything, position, using formulas. So spreadsheet makes it easy to manipulate numerical data. The next thing is that spreadsheet can be used to create budgets, analyze data, produce financial reports or financial plans. So when you want to create budgets, you want to analyze data or produce financial plans, spreadsheet can be used to do that. Spreadsheet can be used for creating graphs and charts. If you have entered some data, especially numerical data in rows and in columns, and you want to create a graph or create charts based on the entries you have made in that worksheet, spreadsheet can help you to do that easily. Spreadsheet can also be used for sorting and storing data. For example, if I want to take your names in alphabetical order, I don't need to start wasting my time, cracking my brain. All I'll have to do is just to enter the names there, and maybe I'll use sort from A to Z, and spreadsheet will just do it easily. So you can also use it to store data. Spreadsheets are used to forecast future performance, complete basic payrolls. Somebody might be asking, how can you use spreadsheet to forecast future performance? Let me use this as an example. If I want to create calendar for next month or even for next year, all I will need to do is to go to my spreadsheet. When I enter today's date, tomorrow, and next, spreadsheet provides a function that will now enable you to forecast the dates for the days to come. You can do that. That's why somebody can create calendar for next year now. Somebody can create calendar for next 2 years now. with spreadsheets, that is easy. Now, spreadsheets are also used for financial documents, invoices, statistical analysis, calculation of costs for activities, etc. So, as I've said before, there are so many things that you can do with spreadsheets, but we have just listed few. Let's look at some of the important terms that we have raised here. A workbook, remember I told you, is made up of 3 worksheets. The worksheets are labeled sheet 1, sheet 2, and sheet 3. Remember I said sheet 1, 2, 3 are the default number of sheets that are opened the moment you open Microsoft Excel window. You can choose to add more sheets. Each cell has a unique cell address. I repeat, each cell has a unique cell address. So when you are referencing the cells, you reference them using their addresses. What do I mean? The first cell there, its address is cell A1. Do you understand? Cell A1. The second cell is A2. Like that. The active cell receives entry you make and the cell pointer identifies it. Which one is the active cell? I said before that active cell is that cell that has heavy border around it, that is highlighted. Any cell that is highlighted in a worksheet is called the active cell. So anything you type on the keyboard is listed or entered in the active cell. So if you want to make an entry in cell A1 and cell C10 is highlighted, the moment you press anything on the keyboard, it will be entered in C10 instead of the A1 you have in mind. So when you are trying to make entries, you should be conscious of the position of the pointer. Each Excel worksheet contains up to 256 columns. So if you have your computer system, you can count to see how it goes. Each Excel worksheet contains up to 65,536 rows. You can also do that. Now, in Excel, we have some data types that can be entered in Excel. I said there are data types that can be entered in Excel. That is, these data types are the kind of entries Excel will allow you to enter in a worksheet. And what are these data types? They are called labels, values, and formulas. So you can see on the screen, I want to leave it for you. You go back and tell me what a label is, what a value is, and what formulas are. So that's what I want you to tell me. Now let me tell you this. In one of the WAEC questions, students were asked to mention the data types that can be entered in Excel worksheet. They were not asked to mention the data types in Excel. They were asked to mention the type of data that can be entered in a worksheet. I hope you are getting that. So sometimes the exam bodies may not just ask you the way it is in the notes. They will want you to use your brain to understand that what you have in your notes is what they want you to apply now. So instead of asking you data types in Excel, they will just tell you to mention the types of data that can be entered in Excel. So I want you to look at these questions here. What is a spreadsheet package? Give 2 examples. List 10 elements of Excel window. What is the difference between a workbook and a worksheet? In what 4 ways can spreadsheets be used? Explain the data types that can be entered in Excel. Thank you. I look forward to seeing your response to the questions. Thank you.